After 10 days of starvation on the deserted island, the girl found a shell. She opened it eagerly but spat it out due to the foul smell. She enviously glanced at the young man ahead with a plate of raw fish bones. He seasoned it with his special sauce before eating, not looking like he was on a deserted island. The hungry girl used her charm, swaying her hips as she walked by the young man. Sure enough, she barely took 2 steps before he called her back. I might believe they easily controlled the young man. The starving girl ignored modesty, stuffing fish into her mouth. If she choked, she had fresh coconut juice to drink. After eating her fill, the girl kissed the young man, securing a long-term meal ticket. The young man consistently returned from the sea with a full load, thanks to his diving skills and survival techniques. The girl was active too. Together, they quickly built a thatched hut, and the young man's actions won her heart. He brought water to the young man at work, and they snuggled while sleeping. They had mutual feelings, but an accident happened unexpectedly. The young man fishing by the reef rescued a man. When the girl saw him, she ran to him in a panic. The young man only then realized they were a couple. Their intimacy made him feel bitter and uneasy. The man, who narrowly escaped death, was suspicious about their long solitary life together. To impress his girlfriend, he secretly lit a bonfire. They were astonished when they saw it. With a fire source, they no longer had to eat raw food. Just as they were happy, the man began to belittle the young man. The young man shared his food, but the ungrateful man divided their hut while fishing, leaving the young man's side too small to live in. The young man could no longer tolerate it and had a heated argument, angrily vowing to stop providing her food. After the young man left, the girl urged her boyfriend to apologize quickly, as they lacked survival skills without him. But the man stubbornly claimed he could manage on his own. However, he was soon proven wrong. Without goggles, he couldn't reach the deep water, so he could only pick up some hermit crabs on the island. In contrast, the young man caught big fish every day and often secretly gave them to the girl. To repay him, the girl shared the fire source with the young man. The smoke overwhelmed him, and he quickly accused the young man of stealing his lighter. The two battled on the beach, settling on a fish as the prize. He also eyed the young man's diving goggles. While the young man slept, the man quietly took them and eagerly began fishing. However, his joy was brief. When the young man woke up and found the goggles missing, he stripped off his clothes, ready to confront the man. "I wanna fucking get them. He's just hungry, mama." Where the girl tried to stop him, but it was no use. In the scuffle, her sheer dress fell off. When the man returned and tossed the goggles to the young man, he remained calm instead of angry. The man felt something was off but dismissed it. At the hut, he eagerly showed his girlfriend his catch, but she, hungry for days, lacked enthusiasm and avoided his gaze. After persistent questioning, he discovered he had grown green hair in a short time. The man became enraged. The girl knelt, pleading, but he refused. He pulled his girlfriend's hair, dragged her to the young man's hut, and left in despair, making a bold choice. He smashed a glass bottle, smoothed the shards, softened a plastic bucket with fire, embedded the shards at the bucket's mouth, and wrapped it with a tire. A simple diving mask was created. The bald man eagerly anticipated diving into the sea. The underwater view was clear, and the fish were within his reach. After 10 days of hunger, he finally had a full meal. While swimming, he discovered a broken boat. The bald man couldn't believe his eyes. Stranded on this deserted island for 10 years, he finally had a way to leave this cursed place. Thinking about it gave him strength. He dragged the boat ashore alone. A strong man on the shore rushed to help but was loudly stopped by Baldy, who refused to associate with the man who had cuckolded him. The girl was Baldy's wife but left him for another man due to her inability to catch fish. Since then, Baldy has managed to catch fish easily on his own. Now, with a boat in hand, he could mock the pair without restraint. In the days that followed, he spent his time either fishing or repairing the broken boat, while the man and the girl danced to pass the time, always making sure Baldy could see them. Segment 2. Seeing this, the guy felt unusually calm because he had long planned his revenge. As Baldy was about to finish repairing the boat, the girl couldn't sit still any longer. She ran to him, apologizing profusely, claiming she was too hungry and fell for the man's tricks. Baldy didn't care. After insulting her, he drove her away. The next day, his boat was repaired, but he needed to gather food before leaving. He decided to catch some fish. Unbeknownst to him, a man had been watching. As soon as Baldy left, the man woke the girl and quickly dragged her to the boat. By the time Baldy returned with his catch, he saw the man stealing the boat and swam to the shore, but it was too late. They had set sail, leaving him behind. Furious, he shouted, then laughed. It was his plan all along. Baldy expected the man to steal the boat, so he allowed it. The boat was not fully repaired. Sure enough, it started leaking shortly after they set off. They tried to plug the hole, but it was too large, and soon the boat sank. They had to swim back. Meanwhile, Baldy burned the grave marker and ate grilled fish while waiting for them. After a day of swimming, they returned to the island. Baldy, seizing the moment while the man was tired, grabbed a spear and lunged at him. The blow was not fatal. The man punched back and fled. Baldy didn't pursue, as he had the girl. He wanted to test their relationship's strength in a life and death situation. At night, he sharpened a knife, waiting for the man to come back. The man couldn't abandon the girl and returned. They fought hard. Realizing the injured man couldn't defeat Baldy, the girl quickly untied him, pushed Baldy away, and escaped with him. Baldy quickly caught up. After a few rounds, the man perished. They continued living on the island thereafter. One day, a group of fishermen came. The girl thought she was dreaming until they spoke, proving it was real. She never imagined she could return home in her lifetime. But before leaving, she took the island's only lighter. Baldy, now with hair grown back, was just coming out when he saw the boat. Overcome with joy, he called for the girl to stop and let him on. The girl did look back. Segment 5, but not to call for help, fearing the family would see Baldy. He finally realized something was wrong and started cursing at the girl, but she just took out the lighter and gave a meaningful smile. Ultimately, she left the island, leaving Baldy as the only inhabitant.